Om Jnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So first we must thank the priests of this temple for their very genuine and warm welcome extended to us. The atmosphere of this temple is vibrant with Bhakti. That is the real meaning of a temple. That everyone who comes should feel the inspiration for Sharanagati. Mostly people come to temples asking for some material benediction. So the Lord is very merciful. He gives benedictions. But the priests, they should know that we are here to serve the Lord, not to take facilities from Him. Of course, there are not only Vishnu temples, there are many other temples. And people get their wishes fulfilled by going to different temples. That is called the Vara, or the Varam, or the boon. But we should know that among all the givers of boons, those who give Varam, there is Varadaraja. I think you must have all visited Varadaraj temple, Varadaraj Koil in Chinnakanchi. So he's Varadaraj. So what is the best thing, the best Varam that he's giving? What is written on he's giving the Ashirvadam, what is written on his hand? Ma Shuchaha. Don't worry. Then why don't worry? There's plenty to worry about. As he himself states in Bhagavad Gita, this material world is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, a place of misery where everything is temporary. So we should be worried. Even we get some different boon or varam, but everything here is temporary. Even Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to be immortal, but that was not possible by any material means. So we can pray for good health. You can get good health by doing yoga exercises and by living a regulated life. Maybe you can get good health. That also depends on prarabdha karmas. Sometimes people spend lakhs of rupees going to the doctor. They don't get cured. And then they give up all hope of treatment, and then just by itself the disease goes away. Is it correct? He's doctor, he knows. So when the time is right, according to your prarabdha karma, the disease will go away. So you can pray for a lot of money, and you might get a lot of money, but that won't necessarily bring you happiness. Just like we see this Ambani brothers, their money has made them enemies. There are so many rich people in America, but we don't see they look very happy. So everything in this material world, it simply is a cause of suffering, and everything here is temporary. Some mosquitoes are flying around, we go out the mosquito. That might be your grandmother. You see? Your grandmother, after dying, can become dog, cat, mosquito, anything. So why is Varadaraj saying Ma Shuchaha? Don't worry. You might say to him, well, I've got plenty to worry about. Or there are some so-called gurus, they say, just, be happy, don't worry. They charge 2,000 rupees to go to a 3-day seminar on how to live the art of, what is that? Something I can't remember. The art of living, something like that. So just smile, be happy. Yeah, but I still have, 7 lakhs debt. You can tell me to smile, but the debt doesn't go away. So how is it Ma Shuchaha? Don't worry. Sarva dhaman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva pabhebhyo mokshayashami ma shuchaha. This is the whole verse. Lord Krishna teaches us to take shelter at His lotus feet. When we give up all endeavors to do anything else except surrender to Krishna and simply accept our constitutional position as His eternal servants, then He accepts us. He takes away all our sinful reactions. So, this atmosphere of bhakti to Krishna, Govinda, Varadaraja, Janardhan, Kodandaram, this should be cultivated within the temple. The Lord comes in His various forms just to show that He is giving shelter to His devotees. We pray to Krishna, Hey Krishna, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. He is known as Brahmanya Dev, who is especially inclined towards the Brahmanas. He is concerned with the welfare of the whole universe and especially of the cows and the Brahmanas. So Brahmana means one who is very pure. Brahma Janatiti Brahmana. One who knows what is Brahma, he is Brahmana. What is that Brahma that Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita? Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. You, Krishna, are Param Brahma, the supreme truth. You are the Param Dhamma, the supreme abode of all auspicious qualities. You are, Arjuna says to Krishna, Pavitram Paramam, the supreme pure. To become pure, one has to take bath, recite various mantras, and so on. But there's another method to become pure. Pavitram apavitram va sarva vastam gato piva yasmarit pundarikaksham sabhaya bhyantara shuchihi. By taking bath, one may become pure externally, but whether one is externally pure or impure in any situation, if one remembers the lotus-eyed Lord, then he is internally, not only externally pure, but internally also. So the Lord is known as Brahmanya Dev, who is worshipped by the Brahmanas and who is especially inclined toward the Brahmanas. He also states in Bhagavad Gita, Manghi partha vyapashritya yepi syuf papayoneha striyo vaishas tata shudras tepiyanti param gatim. So it's mentioned that the non-Brahmanas, the Vaishya, Shudra and Stri, this is considered a less elevated birth than that of a Brahmana. But Krishna says, if they take shelter in me, they attain to me. And practically that is seen in the Ram Leela. When Ram was living in Ayodhya, Sri Ram, then naturally all the Brahmanas were there giving advice. The Brahmanas and the Rajas, they would interact. But when he went to the forest, the Brahmanas wanted to come, but he said, no, you stay in Ayodhya. So eventually he fought Ravana with the help of the monkeys. So the Lord is known as Brahmanya Dev, but in Ram Leela we see he's more inclined to the monkeys. Actually Ravana is Muni Putra, but he's known as a Rakshasa, because by his behavior he's not acting like a Muni, he's most sinful. So Brahmanya Dev is one name for the Lord, but more important name is Bhakta Vatsal, that he's especially inclined to his devotees, whether or not externally they are in this situation of a Brahmana. So of course this has been made a very great issue in Indian social history. But the real point is that the Lord is the Lord of all living beings. Mamaivangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. All living beings are part and parcel of Krishna. So certainly to worship the Lord in the temple, there is some standard of purity is required. But the Lord accepts the devotional offering of everyone, if it's actually devotional. So the real point is that everyone should develop their bhakti for the Supreme Lord. And that's why I can speak to you now. Because I wasn't born in India, as you can probably understand. I was born in a country and in a family where sinful activities were considered normal. That's coming in India now. Practically, you see in Tamil Nadu, everyone thinks you should eat more eggs. One politician will give 1 egg and another politician will give 2 eggs. But actually this is sinful. But people are thinking it's normal and it's very good. So practically people in India have forgotten their pure culture. To a large extent they have forgotten. Still people are coming to the temple. But there are many wrong ideas being propagated in human society. So this Krishna consciousness movement going on in the line from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming through Srila Prabhupada is meant to continue the teachings given by the great Vaishnava Acharyas. Here in the south, Sri Ramanujacharya and Sri Madhvacharya are particularly famous. And within the Ramanuja Sampradaya, there was a historical split between the followers of Sri Vedanta Deshika and Sri Lokpilaya Acharya. But we are not much concerned with all of this. We offer our respectful obeisances to them all. Srila Prabhupada has practically demonstrated that this Vaishnava Bhakti culture is applicable to everyone. Everyone all over the world can take to this. He has practically demonstrated the applicability of Mamaivangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So we wish to educate the people of India about their own great culture and to give a practical process of bhakti that is suitable for the modern age without compromising any of the principles of purity and being fully in line with Shastra Vichar. So that process is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in line with the Brihanaradiya Purana. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, 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 Gatiranyata. In this Kali Yuga, it is not possible for most people to follow all the strict rules of Archan Vidhi. One of the first rules is that you should take bath only with the pure river water or the pure well water if you're going to do the Archan. Well, the rivers, that's a point of dispute, isn't it? Kaveri water stays in Bangalore. And you see, living in the modern age, water means tap water for most people. So we take bath in the tap water, but from the strict point of view, that's not pure water. So there are many rules to be followed, which it's not possible in the modern age. So as far as possible, we should try to follow. But the essential sadhana for Kali Yuga is chanting the names of Hari, Harinam. This is a practical process for everyone. If you can remember many shloks and stutis That is very good. But people in the modern age tend to be somewhat dull-headed. So there's one very easy shlok which everyone can learn. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting this, Bhagavan Hari will be fully satisfied. This chanting is a process which everyone can take part in. Everyone can chant Hare Krishna and achieve the full benefit of life. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe kahilam e maha mantra iha japagiya shabe karya nibandha iha hoite sarva siddhi hoive shobha sarva khan kahanam vidhi nahiya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone should chant this Maha Mantra and at the same time follow the basic rules of Bhakti Yoga. And simply by this process, everyone can achieve the full perfection of life. So everyone should practice chanting these holy names. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do any very difficult vratas or tapasya. Just chant Hare Krishna. So we should practice chanting the holy names of God. Otherwise, there are so many other things we can do. Now in the internet age, you can go on the internet and there's so many things you can waste your time looking at on the internet. They call it the information highway. But what's the information about? Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha samanametat pashubhyanarana. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending the humans do and the animals do. The whole human society, so-called sophisticated technological society, is in a sophisticated way doing what the animals are doing, namely eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesham dharmena hina pashubhyanaranam. Dharma is the special prerogative of the human form of life. So, if we don't, in this human form of life, if we don't practice dharma, then we are simply two-legged animals, that's all. So, what is dharma? We should understand. In the name of dharma, there is so much adharma going on. This is another symptom of Kali Yuga. In the name of dharma, they're opening slaughterhouses. Bhagavan is Govinda, the protector of the cows, but they think we shall kill the cows in a religious way by draining their blood. In certain scriptures of the world, it is said that there is a rule: you should not eat any blood, no blood of any animal. So this means you shouldn't eat any meat. But instead, they have such a strange way of thinking that they kill the animals in some ritual manner by which they supposedly drain all the blood out and then eat the meat. What a horrible perversion of God's order. So, to follow dharma, first of all, we should be honest. We should not be cheating. Whatever the great acharyas teach us, we take it and we change it for our own sense gratification. This is called Kaitava Dharma, cheating so-called religion. This ISKCON movement or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings are based on Srimad Bhagavatam, in which in the beginning it is stated, Dharma Projita Kaitava Atra. Cheating religion is completely kicked out, rejected from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the same purport as Sarvadhaman Parityajya, throwing out all kinds of religion which is meant for anything but Sharanagati. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has summarized the essence of all religious understanding. Jiva Swarup Hoy Krishna Nityadas. The Jiva is the eternal servant of Krishna. So we have no other actual function than to serve Krishna. Forgetfulness of this is the cause of all our suffering. So, Bhagavan is very kind and very sweet. He is Bhakta Vatsal, very kind to his devotee. But we have to relate to him on his terms and conditions. We are his servant. We shouldn't try to make him our servant. As Lord Krishna states in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Manusha Pata Sarvashaha. Everyone Mamavat Manuvartante Manusha Pata Sarvashaha. Everyone is within the scope of Krishna. Everyone is following what Krishna gives. But those who surrender to him are under the protection of his Antaranga Shakti. And those who do not surrender to him come under the sway of his Bahiranga Maya Shakti. Hare Krishna. Alright, now you can sit down and listen to the lecture and get some benefit. For him it's a job, but if he sat down and listened, he could get some actual benefit. Can translate that? He's running off to another job. Listen, sit and listen. So, Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Mahatmanastu mang partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajantyananya manaso gyatva bhutadim abhyayam. So Lord Krishna is saying, Ma shuchat, don't worry. Who cannot worry? Those who are Mahatmas under his protection. And for others who don't want to take shelter of Krishna, then they simply have to suffer in material life again and again and again. Birth after birth after birth. Tanahang dushatakruran samsareshu naradamam chipyami jasamashubhan samsareshu. What is that? So, naradam. You can get the. So we are in the temple of Kodanda Ram, Shri Ram. One name of Shri Ram is Narottama, which means he is above all human beings. He is Vishnu, Bhagavan. Or even if you take, according to his Leela, he's like a human being. So if it's taken like that, then he's the best of humans. He's showing the ideal example. And the exact opposite is Naradhama, the lowest. So by forgetting Rama, Krishna, Varaha, Vamana, Nrsimha, then we have to take birth again and again and again. And by taking to the path of bhakti, sharanagati, then we become narottama. Not that never is the possibility of becoming equal to the Lord. That is not possible. But we become very dear to him and the best in human society. Actually, you see, there's this misunderstanding that we shall become one with Bhagavan. But by bhakti, if we actually have bhakti for the Lord, then he accepts us as more dear to him than even himself. That is a very high level of bhakti. As Lord Krishna told Uddhav Maharaj, Natatame priyatama atma yonena shankaraha nacha sankarshano nashriya naivatma chayatha bhavan. First is Brahma, Atma Yoni, who's born from his own body. And then there's Lord Shiva, Atma Yonena Shankara. Then Sankarshan, his brother, Balaram. And Shri, his wife, Lakshmi. So he told Uddhav that none of these are as dear to me as you are, Uddhav. And even I love you more than I love myself. So the position of the devotee is so glorious that he is the Lord himself who is certainly the greatest of all, in the Lord's own estimation, his devotee is greater than himself. So this is the temple of Godandaram, but practically we see that Hanuman is worshipped as much as, and maybe even more than Lord Ram. Lord Ram has given a bigger position to Hanuman. That Lord Ram is famous for performing the amazing act of making a bridge of rocks from Setubandha to Lanka. But Hanuman jumped. He didn't need a bridge. So does it mean that Hanuman is more than Ram? What's the answer? The answer is yes, he is more than Ram by the grace of Ram. So it's yes and no. We know the story of Krishna with the Tula Bhar, and whatever you put, all the gold and jewels and everything, still Krishna is more heavy than one tulsi leaf. How much does a tulsi leaf weigh? 10 grams? Less. And immediately, yes, all right. So Krishna in the temple, we should worship him with all the best things, with gold and jewels and everything. But he himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Patrang pushpang param toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupaharitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. That, yes, alright, you worship, you bring gold, jewels, everything else, but what I really want is bhakti. So if you offer with bhakti, leaf, flower, fruit and water, I will accept it. But if there's no bhakti, then you can offer so many things and Krishna is not interested. As is well demonstrated in Lord Krishna refusing the invitation of Emperor Duryodhana and going to the house of Vidur, and only Vidurani is there, the wife of Vidur, and in great ecstasy she's offering only some bananas in the house, so she's offering the banana. So nowadays you can spend 5-6 rupees for one banana, but it's still not it's not the same as king's food. It's still a very ordinary food. So Vidurani is offering the banana, but in ecstasy, all know she's taking the skin and supposed to give the banana and throw the skin, but she's throwing the banana and giving the skin. Krishna is eating. He's thinking, this is very nice, because it's offered with great bhakti. So Varadaraj says, Ma Shucha, don't worry. If we take full shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, then there's nothing to worry for. But as long as we don't do that, then there's everything to worry for. So he is the best of the givers of benediction. But we should know what that benediction is and how to accept it. Otherwise, if we go to the Lord asking for good health and lots of money and visa to America, that's not very intelligent. Better to ask Him for that which will fully satisfy us. Savai pung sang paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Savai pung sang paro dharma. So only that full surrender to Krishna can fully satisfy us. We ourselves cannot be satisfied by anything but full surrender to Him. So this Krishna conscious movement wishes to give this information. What is the essence of this great Vedic culture? Vedaischa sarver ahameva vedyaha. There are so many different points of Vedic culture, but the essence is surrender to Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the way to do that, most suitable for Kali Yuga. Chanting the names of Krishna, especially in the form of this simple yet beautiful and sweet Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So have faith in Krishna. Try to understand who is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada has written so many books just to help us understand who is Krishna, how to surrender to Him, and what is the result of doing so. So we brought some of these books here. They're available on this book table. Request you to take some of these books to learn about Krishna from the authorized Vaishnava sources. So thank you again to the priests of this temple for so nicely receiving us and for developing this temple so that everyone who comes can be more and more inspired in bhakti. Hare Krishna. Is there any question? What's that? Some? Oh, he's going to feed all the devotees. I hope they've got some appetite after that big feast. It was a little late, wasn't it? 3 o'clock. So, any question? Then we'll have some more kirtan.
She said that he convinced me to surrender. I want to surrender, but then also the mind has no intention. Reward children, family, and everything. He has to get that full surrender.
Therefore, we have to take to the process of bhakti. The greatest devotees of Krishna, the gopis, they were also involved in household affairs. But their remembrance of Krishna was so strong that even in the midst of all these affairs, they always thought of Krishna. So we have to develop to that stage, and the practical process is by chanting the names of Krishna in a regulated manner. With beads, we chant on the beads. We can take a little time, not right now, but maybe later. Achinta Radha can contact you. You hear it? She's here in Arakkonam? Tirutan. So, yeah. She's following all the things? Yeah. Do you have that book, Bhakti Yogam? No. You take that book and then you follow, and that will help you. Krishna will help. You take up the process of bhakti and Krishna will help you, no doubt. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayam tate.
Again, she is asking if you want to achieve the real highest ecstasy in bhakti, what do you do?
Yeah, we'll start at the beginning. Follow the basic processes. Chanting the holy names, associating with devotees, following the basic principles of purity, taking Krishna prasad, all these things will help. These are all very powerful processes which help to purify us. Alright, kirtan? Or should we have another kirtan here? I've been having Chitta Hari sing because he has a good loud voice, but Damodar Murti can also sing. His voice is very sweet, but your